Faith has a new frequency. The Spirit of Huntsville. KHSPLP, Huntsville, Texas. Spirit 94.3.
All right, everybody, welcome in episode 684 on your Thankful Thursday. Welcome in to Good Morning Huntsville as we get rocking and rolling. Missed all of you guys yesterday, but it is good to be back. I made the executive decision to not have the show yesterday, and so happy to be back here today on this Thankful Thursday. Jason Bay joining us from First Baptist Church, and as always, we want to welcome in everybody that is joining us on Spirit 94.3, as always, for this first segment. Underwriting support for this program is made possible in part by Elliott's Jewelers, his website, elliotsjewelers.com, and also First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope, online at fbchuntsville.org. Pastor Jason, good to see you. I missed being on yesterday, but I'm feeling better. The Huntsville bug has made its way through our household, and it has came through, and it has exited, and we're back in business.
Exited.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good to know, Rob. We've had that going through our family, but thankfully it hit our kids that were in college, so they took it with them when they left on Sunday, and they were sick, and we avoided it. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to avoid it, but it has affected a lot of people here locally. I know at our school, there's lots of kids that have been out with a stomach bug, and I'm sorry it hit you so hard. Poor Rob has been under the weather, and you told me this morning though there's positive side effects that come from having the stomach bug.
That's right. If you want to go on a diet, get the stomach bug, and you will wake up about 4 pounds lighter after a couple of days.
There you go.
And you know what? I was telling Bridget actually this morning, and yesterday I felt a lot better yesterday, but I just kind of took it easy. And here's something I want to encourage people this morning. I know Jason's going to have our Thankful Thursday segment here in just a second. Friends, if you are sick and you feel great the next day, but it has not been 24 hours, please stay away. I've learned this with my children because it is a big deal in daycare. And luckily, our children don't go to daycare. They go to childcare, by the way, because we actually pick them up and they're still alive. That's the joke that goes on with Tomorrow's Promise. Kay always says, we're childcare, not daycare, because daycare, you hope you get your kids and that they're alive. So we go to a childcare facility at Tomorrow's Promise. But the deal is, here's the deal. I've learned this from having children. Leave your kids at home. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is they bring it back to you, and then you get sick, and then you take them back to school, and then all the kids get sick, and it's this never-ending this cycle. And Jason, I wanted to mention something. Now, I'm not knocking the faith base, obviously, of this song, but Mercy Me has that song, I Can Only Imagine. And you, with your family, when those stomach bugs come through, Mercy Me wrote that song for you in a secular way. I can only imagine.
Yes, definitely. It can get pretty rough. And I think when you get over 40, there's nothing worse than having to throw up, at least in my experience. It takes so much more out of you than when you were a kid.
I told my mom, it's funny you mentioned that, because I told my mom yesterday, I try to talk to my mom every day, and I talked to her yesterday, and I said, Mother, I think if something like that hits me again, I think I'm going to see Jesus, because I don't think I can recover from it anymore. And I am so sore this morning from my lower abdomen all the way up to my shoulder area, even my back. And I was coughing last night, just a little cough. Everybody coughs every once in a while, and little allergies or whatever. And I was coughing, and it hurt to cough. And I said, man, have I really not been taking that good a care of myself that I strained every muscle in my body being sick? And so yeah, a lot of positives. Here's the biggest positive. Bridget won an eye care award several months ago, where she works at Creekside, and that is an award that's kind of the Employee of the Year type award.
Wow.
Which has been amazing. I'm so proud of her. My wife has done an awesome job there as a nurse. Well, they blessed her with a spa day down at the Woodlands Country Club tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
Well, guess what? She gets to take a guest. So
That's you.
I said, sweetheart, take one of your friends. She goes, no, I want you to go. I said, okay. And so tomorrow I'm going with her to celebrate that achievement. And they sent a form to her, and it looked like an autopsy picture because it showed the body and like, where do you need work on? I was like, did you get this from the local morning?
Circled the whole thing.
And so you have to focus on it. And I said, oh, I'm focusing on my back and my shoulders and my neck. So
yeah, oh, that's good. That's wonderful that y'all get a chance to do that and spend some time together, especially right around Valentine's Day here. What a great gift, and for y'all to have some time together.
Well, Jason, again, it's good to be back. Good to see you, my friend. I missed being here yesterday, but excited to be back today. My favorite segment right now is it's Thankful Thursday. What do you got for us today?
Well, what we have coming right around the corner is Valentine's Day, and I was thinking about all the things to be thankful for. One of the things that I think we all can be thankful for is love. And what love really is. I think we live in a culture, I know we live in a culture where love is so misunderstood that we don't really understand what love is. And I think the only way to understand what love is through the Scripture. I think that's the only way that we really get a good comprehension of what true love is all about. I have a little joke to start out with. There was a minister, he was speaking to a Sunday school class about love one day, and he said, there are a lot of things that money can buy, but there's one thing that money can't buy. Money can't buy love, he told them. He said, what would you do if I offered you $1,000 not to love your father and your mother? The students just sat in silence, and one little voice popped up and said, well, how much would you give me not to love my sister? I think sometimes we look at love in that way, and we misunderstand what love is all about. But the Bible makes perfectly clear what love is, and love is sacrifice, putting someone else before you. It's selfless. It's thinking of the other person first. I once heard a person that did a lot of counseling in marriage, and he says, what the number one reason for divorce is? The number one reason for divorce isn't communication or our finances or other things that we throw in there. Really, the number one reason for divorce is selfishness, is when one person or both people put themselves above the other person. And I think the only way to really understand love is to open the Bible and read what the Bible says about love. And the Bible says a lot about what love is. It really defines it for us and explains it for us, because we're made in the image of God, and love is one of those emotions that's so hard to explain. I just want to share a couple of scriptures with the audience this morning, what the Bible says about love. And we could look at 1 Corinthians 13, and we often do, but I want to just look at some other ones this morning. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Love gives. Love gives. For God so loved the world that he gave. Romans 5:8, but God demonstrates his own love towards us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Philippians 2:5-8, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God did not consider it robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, taking the form of a bondservant and becoming in the likeness of men. And being found in appearance of men, he humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even the death of the cross. 1 John 4:9-10, in this the love of God was manifested towards us, that God has sent his only Son into the world that we might live through him. In this love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sin. In all of these examples, the greatest love example we have of love is Jesus. And Jesus gave it all for us. And the Bible says, greater love has no man than this, than to lay down his life for his brothers. Jesus explained to the husbands that husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. He gave his life for it. In the same way, if we want healthy marriages, the best way to do that is to show by example what love looks like to our children. I remember my dad just doing simple things to show me how much he loved my mother. He would go grocery shopping from time to time. Mom would send us to the grocery store, and he'd take me, and we'd go in there, and we'd go up and down the aisles and get all the stuff on the list. And I remember long ago, even as a kid, before we left, he would say, "Now let's pick out something for Mama." You know, he would want me to know that we're going to get something extra for her. And I think that just that little thing, but many other things like that, taught me the importance to put other people first. And there's nothing more beautiful in your life and in your marriage than to show to your children what selfless love looks like, what putting the other person first looks like. We live in a world that's so concerned with self. You know, it's all about me. What about me? But when we experience and express biblical love, it's always about the other person. It's always about putting someone else first. So let me just say before we end this segment, I'm so thankful to have a wonderful wife that loves me beyond measure, beyond all my faults and falls throughout the years. And I'm so thankful that God has placed her in my life so that I can show her love. And someone once told me years ago, the best thing you can do is to marry your best friend. And I'm so thankful that God allowed that to happen in my life. She truly is my best friend. I'm so thankful to have her. And I just want to say, Kim, I love you.
And Bridget, I love you very much. I have to say,
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I think about life, and I'm guilty of this. And, you know, I'm sorry to my wife. I really am, because I get so busy in this world worrying about how are we going to take care of this? How's this going to happen? And I feel this pressure that I have to do more to support more. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
And at the same token, I don't realize in the midst of that I'm neglecting certain areas of our marriage, of our family. And one thing that you've taught me, Jason, is to learn to say no. And there are times to where I want to say yes. I got invited to MC a really prestigious event coming up in a couple of weeks. And as much as I want to do that, I had to respectfully decline, because I need that day with my wife and my family. I'm doing an event this Saturday, and that's one reason that I declined this one, is because I've learned that I've got to make time. And in the back of my mind, Jason, I feel these thoughts of like, well, if you don't do that, those people are never going to talk to you again. And I've had to learn to distance myself from that. And that all stems from one person one time telling me that you've got to be there and be active. And I've changed my thinking, because that person's right. I do have to be there, and I have to be active for my family first.
Absolutely.
And I've learned that.
Yeah, and I think that's a great example of that selfless love, Rob, is to even before, well, I mean, a great example in your life is you saw in North Dakota, amongst all that snow and cold.
You betcha. Oh, yeah.
That your family, even though you felt like your career path, and God had, I mean, that it was mapped out for you to be what they call in error a self-made man, you know. But we know that you made that decision. Hey, what's best for me is not necessarily what's best for my family, and made that hard decision to move back to Huntsville with no safety net and trust God that he was going to open doors and provide, and he has. And I'm thankful that you're here. I'm thankful for your faithfulness and your love towards this church, towards the Lord, towards me as a friend. And I think that love is shown in many different ways, but especially in selflessness.
Well, that's good. I appreciate that, Jason. I want to encourage people today, as you read those scriptures, to focus on love as we enter into this season of Valentine. Think about what real love is, and real love is the love that Christ has for us. And think about, how are you showing that love to others? You know, we talk about it every Sunday, but as you've said, Jason, over the past few weeks and months, it's not the information, it's the transformation.
Yes.
And really listen to that, friends. I want to encourage you. Really, really listen to that. You know, we're reaching 5 of the 7 correctional facilities here in Huntsville through this radio station. We know that people are listening even this morning. Did you know that God commands us to love those that are incarcerated? Did you know that God calls us to love those that are hungry, to love those that are in need? And all of us have our own situations that we're involved in. But really, I plead with people, please start applying what you hear on Sunday mornings. Don't just listen to it and let it go in one ear and out the other. And please don't allow it to be a checkbox, because there are many people in this community that are hurting and that just need the love from you to say, you know what, I care about you. And I think that's one way of showing Christ's love to others.
Yeah, and this Valentine's Day, as it approaches, we want you to celebrate that love with those people that God has placed in your life. A man wrote to Dear Abby, he said, I'm in love and I'm having an affair with 2 different women other than my wife. I love my wife, but I love these other women's too. Please tell me what to do, but don't give me any of that morality stuff. Signed, Too Much Love for Only One. And she responded, Dear, too much love for only one. The only difference between humans and animals is morality. Please write to a veterinarian.
There you go. You had me on the hook there for whoa, man. All right. Well, that's good. Well, hey, all of you and our Hello Huntsville community, and those of you that listen here on Spirit Radio, hey, we love you. And if there's anything that we can do to help, please reach out to us. You can always email us, hello@hellohuntsvilletx.com. You can also email in your prayer requests to victory@spiritradio.fm. And we've got a really cool feature, too. If you download the Spirit Radio app, there is a section there. And, you know, maybe you're struggling to find the right words to say. And obviously, AI is not going to replace the power of the Holy Spirit. I'm not saying that. But sometimes we get a little lost. And there's an option on here that says seek and pray on our app. And if you're just looking for a verse, if you're looking for some words to kind of help get you started, to help somebody else, use that feature, because it is really neat. It'll guide you and help you. So, well, that will wrap it up here with our first segment on Spirit 94.3. We'll take a break and we'll continue the show on social media. You can join us on the Hello Huntsville Facebook page, also the Hello Huntsville YouTube page. And be sure to head over. If you're not already on social media, we'll go back to regular music and programming here on Spirit. But the show continues on social media. Pam Conner coming up. Huntsville DBA. Stay with us. It's Good Morning Huntsville.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope. Hey friends, this is Rob Hipp, and I'm here to talk about a true expert in the real estate world. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Terry Coleman of the Coleman Realty Group.
With 33 years in the business, I've dedicated my life to making your real estate dreams come true. Specializing in residential properties, I serve Walker and Montgomery counties, from Spring to Trinity and areas all around.
They call her your next door agent, and here's why.
I'm not just here to help you find a home or lease a property. I'm here to build lifelong relationships. Whether it's residential or commercial, farm or ranch listings, there's something for everyone.
Now you might wonder, what sets Terry apart from other real estate agents? Well, it's simple. She goes above and beyond for her clients, like the time she surprised a family from California with a fully decorated Christmas tree and gifts when they returned from closing. You shouldn't have to compromise on the joys of home during life-changing moments. So, if you're ready to make your real estate dreams come true, here's what you need to do.
Visit my website at myrealtorterry.com and let's make those dreams a reality.
That's Terry Coleman, your expert in all things real estate.
I'm Terry Coleman, your next door agent, and I can't wait to help you open the door to your new life.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hi, I'm Kanan. Now listening to Barrett Radio.
Welcome back at it, friends. We continue on this morning here on Good Morning Huntsville. It's a good morning to be alive and well here in East Texas. We also want to welcome in our global audience. It's pretty cool. We still have our friends from Ireland listening in. Thanks to Spirit Radio. Apparently they're in Ireland. They get us on the Alexa. So it is great how that works out. So anybody that may be joining us outside of Huntsville, we want to Oh, there we are. We're back. Sometimes, did it like go off? It goes off sometimes. Yeah, the internet has a little glitch in it. Welcome back, everybody, again, as we continue on. Big thank you, by the way, to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Go by and see my great friend, Mr. Elliot Herzlich. He'll take care of you. And by the way, the postcards awards are out right now, Community Choice Awards, and I encourage you to go vote for these folks that you hear on the show every day. Elliot's Jewelers is in for best jewelry, so you can check him out. My friend Sam Moak is in there for best attorney. I don't tell people how to vote. I just suggest, Jason. I'm suggesting because these folks they do so much for Hello Huntsville, and they've been a huge part of our foundation and keeping us going. And I'm a customer of them as well. I'm not just saying, I'm wearing a ring from Elliot's Jewelers. Also, you can find out more information there on Postcards Magazine. And, of course, we could not be here on this Thankful Thursday without Pastor Jason Bay, First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope, the website, fbchuntsville.org. And look at this wonderful person. Someone just came in today. We just saw her. So
Popped in.
come on in. Huntsville DBA, Pam Conner joined us. Good morning, Pam.
Drug me in off the street.
We did, and didn't take much effort. You were ready to go. So, how are you doing? Great to see
I'm
you.
good. It was a great segue in from the love segments for me to come talk about our sweetheart stroll this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to show some love to our community.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, I always like to catch up with you. What have you been up to? I know a lot going on here in Huntsville, and still rocking and rolling with DBA too. But let us know how you've been.
We've been good. The same mission for 38 years at the Box and Simply Seconds every day, and keep plugging at it. So it's great to be a part of the downtown community.
One of my favorite things to do, Jason, is go stroll around the square now. You know, you get to that age to where even young people want to encourage you to start strolling. It's fun, but I enjoy walking around our square. There is so much livelihood. We've always had great businesses downtown, but there has been just a beautiful revitalization.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, I ain't been to ORU in a couple of months. I'm trying to get back. Revitalization downtown, you know, with the murals and just new businesses, Mortar and Pestle opening up, and so many other great things happening down there. And Pam, you've always been a champion for success downtown. You want to see these businesses succeed. We were walking around the other day. You were out there for a couple of days, and I went by and visited your sister. And the Bargain Box is one of my favorite places to go into and talk to Tanya. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Certainly we don't have a lot of opinions, so don't try and ask.
Well, that's why
we'll get on a little tangent here and there.
Well, I had a few things on my chest, you know, so it's like Huntsville's living room. Some of the you can go and no, I'm just kidding.
It's funny with some of the Sam Houston students that come in and we'll ask them, well, what's your major? I'm psychology, psychiatry. We're like, oh, good.
Came to the right place. Sit down here at the couch.
Just sit right here. Well, we've got some clientele coming in.
Yeah.
You know, Rob, Pam and I go way back. I don't know if you know
Way
this,
back.
but she lives out in the same community where I live. And years ago, we as a family made the tough decision to move back from Waco, where I was pastor, to move back to where we lived. And one of the reasons we made that decision is because of our kids. My oldest, Noah, was starting kindergarten. And so we wanted them to go to school in this little school that's not far from our house, little 1A school. And Pam Conner was the president of the school board out there. And they had taken that school and just made it a beautiful place to raise a family. And we raised our kids there in that school. And now he's a senior in college. Can you believe it, Pam? That's a lot of kids have passed underneath her through her school and her leadership. And she did a fine job leading that school for so many years and giving back to the community in so many ways. Not only just her service, but also through the Bargain Box here, and the way that she always gives back to the community is something that I've learned to appreciate about her in so many different ways.
Well, thank you. I do miss all those days of all the school. I was telling somebody the other day, we'd volunteer out there, and how I loved it, but it was just draining. If I volunteered out at school for one day and come home and my kids loaded up, and I'd get that smile on. When we get home, we're taking a nap.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
They will wear you out.
Working with children anywhere will wear you out.
That's what I say after every Sunday. Like, we have a good service here, and then I always say, all right, we're going home to eat, and we're taking a nap. So I'm at that age now to where I'm looking forward to that.
Any excuse.
Well, Pam, again, with the Huntsville DBA Downtown Business Alliance, you guys do such amazing work, again, promoting local business, especially downtown. I know even some folks that aren't directly downtown that are involved as well, but let us know a little bit about the organization first, or maybe somebody new that's joining us this morning that doesn't know about DBA, and then we'll switch gears and talk about the nice event coming up.
Well, we're basically a group of, it's like a mini chamber of commerce, and what we do is just we support and encourage tourism into downtown, and we do that through our advertising efforts. We pull all our resources together to to do positive advertising. In fact, we actually advertise on the digital billboard out on I-45, and I brought a little show and tell. We have brand new maps for downtown,
nice.
and we list all of the businesses in the downtown area so people know how to get around, know what's going on, and list the events that we do. We meet monthly and share ideas and try and keep a good, strong continual effort in promoting. And downtown's beautiful, and we've had several businesses that have new lighting that's gone up, and to light up the evening, and of course new businesses like you said, Mortar and Pestle, the Raven Bistro.
Yeah, the Raven.
We have a brand new business coming in called Granny Camp, where Adler Toys used to be.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I've met those ladies, and they're pulling up stakes out of Conroe and coming up to Huntsville because Huntsville is welcoming, and we want to encourage these businesses to be a part of our community and support them.
It was neat too to see One Music. They moved over to the end now over there, and they've got a nice. I mean, their shop was already big, but it's really open now.
Yeah,
really cool music store over there too.
You know, whenever I was growing up, my grandfather. We would always come to Huntsville to shop right on the square, whether it was buying our shoes at Rogers Shoes back in the day or a drugstore that was right there. And he wasn't concerned. He taught me, that the price wasn't an issue as nearly as much as it was buying from your friends, buying from people that you know. And they had this concept of community, how important it was to shop with people that you go to, your kids go to school with their kids. And I remember those days we would come up here and this is where we did all of our shopping right around here. Whatever you needed, it was right around here. But it is a reminder, thinking back, how important it is to shop local and to shop with people that you know. And these people that started these businesses around here, that's exactly what it is. They're small business owners that have started a small business and have a family, and it's important to shop local. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Oh yeah, I have people come in all the time and ask, what is the key to your success? And of course, we tell them real quick, well, we're not millionaires, and we never look to be, and we aren't going to be.
Yeah.
We enjoy our jobs. We enjoy coming to town every day and opening our doors and visiting with people. And our local customers that come in that support us locally, we know them. We know their kids. We know we know they've got grandkids. We know their travels. And they know what we do. Like you said, you came in last, and I wasn't there. Where were you? What were you doing? And of course, we now that Bobby's retired, we do get to travel a lot, and people want to come in. Where did y'all get to go? What cruise have y'all been on? And and it's those times that you share with people, and that's what they want to know. They want to come in and feel like they're welcome and home, and that we do care about them.
That's what community is all about. I was just talking to we had a small group training session last night. We were up here pretty late, and we were talking about how community in these times is hard. It's hard to do community because so many people are isolated with technology, and the way they shop and the way they do life is so isolated. Community is hard, but it's needed now more than ever because the people are so isolated, especially with the younger generation of people, the way they communicate with one another and the way that they're disassociated with other people. And we see in the young people the rise of anxiety and depression. A lot of that results from the fact of not being able to communicate. And it all comes back to having a community, having a place where you can call home and go and be around and talk to people and share life together. And that's what a community used to be, and that's what a community is supposed to be. And I think that's one of the things that the downtown community is committed to, is keeping Huntsville committed to those hometown values, but also a sense of community.
It really is, and not the local community does support us, but we have to reach out to the tourism in our community to get us to where we're just doing a little bit more than paying the bills. And then when the tourists do come in and they see what's going on, they see that we are community. They do love. And you see some negative posts a lot on social media about, well, all downtown is antique stores, but it's first off, it's not just
right.
antique stores, but second, that's what's bringing people to town.
I was just about to mention one of the things that I love most about going downtown, besides the scenery now, is going into a lot of those antiques. So I mean, it's neat, and I love going in and talking to Kathleen, and then coming by and talking to y'all over Bargain Box. I think, and then your sister next door, I love talking to her, and
little politics every now and then.
yeah, but it's fun. You know, I love going by and just visiting with people.
Yeah.
There's not every community that you can just go door to door and you feel like you know everybody. You feel like they're your friends, and you feel like you're part of a family downtown.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like to me.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And again, that's why we love what we do, because our customers are our family, but then our business owners are their family. We have what we call our executive meetings on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
If you drive by and there's 3 or 4 of us out there, we're having an executive meeting.
Especially if there's fly swatters out there, and stuff going on. So, well, Pam, again, appreciate just all the hard work that y'all do. Events help keep DBA sustained and keep promoting the positive in downtown. Let us know what's coming up. Valentine's Day is here. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yeah, how about that? This Saturday we are showing some love to our community, and we do what we call the Sweetheart Stroll and the Chocolate Walk. And I have to give a little credit to Frederick Morris. He has antique booths in downtown, and also he owns the Hot Top Salon, and he is active with ideas and creative ideas. And about 5 years ago, he said, "I've been to some towns, and at Valentine's Day, they give away free chocolate." And he said, "There's just people everywhere." And he said, "We need to do that." And I was like, "Well, that's great, Frederick, but we need to expand on the idea." And so the first 2 years, he underwrote the whole event.
Wow.
And set it up for us. And so now that he got us kicking, he doesn't have to underwrite us anymore. We follow up. But basically, we have the downtown businesses offer free chocolates, like trick or treating for chocolate. You're gonna get chocolate, and so you just go from store to store and pick up your free chocolate, and it's from 10 to 7:30. When you get there, we have a sweet little Valentine for you, and with a map and
cool.
directions, and then you take this little Valentine to all the stores, and you get a stamp acknowledging you've been to every store. Don't have to buy anything, and then you turn it in at the end of the day, and we do a drawing, and we're going to give away a total of $500 in what we call downtown dollars. We'll have 3 winners, $250, $150, and $100, and those winners will be able to spend those downtown dollars in the businesses that participated for the day.
And is this on Valentine's Day, on Saturday?
It actually does fall on
Falls
Valentine's
right on it.
This year, and it also falls on one of our sip and shop nights. So we'll be there till 7:30, late night.
Late night for Huntsville.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, that's good, because Jason and I were talking. We always said nothing good ever happens after 10 o'clock. So see, it's down before 10.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, for us old ladies, at 7:30, it's late.
Hey, that's bath time for the kids and wind down time. So
Yeah.
folks can go online too, right? HuntsvilleDBA.com for more information.
Right. Or check our Facebook page. It's Huntsville Downtown Business Alliance on Facebook.
Wonderful. And how many years have y'all been doing this one again?
I think about 5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so how time flies.
We came from Georgetown in Central Texas. There's a lot of great events that happen there, but I just love, and I'm not bashing my hometown, but I'm telling you, the events that y'all put on are just, as we were just talking, community oriented, getting people to come together.
Yeah.
This sounds like a really fun time for families and couples to come downtown, get some free chocolate, and enjoy our community.
And it's for the whole the event's for the whole family, but the shop hop portion is restricted to 18 and over, because we're dealing with money.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Well, perfect. Well, anything else going on? I know y'all have got the crawfish boil coming up and all that too, correct?
Yeah, March the 21st, we're having our I think this is either 5th or 6th year for this event. It's the Crawfish and Music Festival. Big E's does our crawfish. Sam's Table is a supporter for the beverage portion. We'll call it beverage portion.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And we've got
O'Doul's.
I finally got my Zydeco band booked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from 3 to 6, we've got Keon and the Zydeco Masters will be performing in the gazebo. And Michael Dutka's going to perform in the morning time.
Oh, he's such a great young man. You know, he did Michael Dutka's the young boy, 10 or 11 now. His parents have American Flip Factory. And Michael, when we had our grand opening for Hello Huntsville, we did it at the Chamber when we first came back and launched the business. And we had Michael come and play at our grand opening.
Oh, wow.
And he's a student out at Richards ISD.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really? I
he
didn't
goes
know
to
that.
school out there.
Wow.
So small world.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a lot of fun. Yeah. And you've got some great, you mentioned the Big E's and also, Sam's Table and the Keon is going to be there with the music. Yeah.
And adding a little variation to it this year, since we're trying to break into the art scene in downtown Huntsville.
Yeah.
Richard at Splintercraft is working with Emerge Gallery, and they're going to do the full Pardon Art Walk during the event.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so there'll be some art displayed during the event. And they're handling that part of it. Thank goodness, didn't need anything else on my shoulders. But so this will be the first year for that, and they're going to have some of the masquerade mask painted up and stuff, and to kind of put a new flair
That's great.
on the events
I
downtown.
like that idea of trying to create like an art district downtown,
That's
bringing
cool.
in art stores. I know you've talked to several people that have been interested in that as well. And a few years ago, me and my wife we like to go down to Galveston, and usually we stay on the Strand, but we kind of got off on Market Street down there, and we started walking up and down there, and they have that whole art district down there with just different artists, different things, and it's really, really neat. It'd be beautiful to see Huntsville to have something similar to that one day.
It's in the ground stage.
Yeah, good though. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's so. But Richard definitely has a heart for that, and he's working that side of town and trying to get those artists up. And then whenever we've already got Cork and Canvas there in downtown
Yeah.
that does the painting and stuff. And then when Granny Camp comes in at the Adler Building, that's going to be another aspect of art and hobby is an art.
Yeah.
So,
it's surprising how many artists are around Huntsville. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of artists.
Richard has really enlightened us in that scene. And of course, we also have the Sam Houston's Satellite Gallery.
Right.
It's right there in downtown, and they do the university does shows there a few times a year and brings artists in. So
You mentioned Richard, he and his father there with the CLAG, the Compton's Letterman Press Guild that's coming.
That's what I was thinking about when she was mentioning that. 'Cause I remember they came and talked to us one time about starting that.
How cool is it to have those guys down there? This is where Paul Oley's shop used to be. They've totally renovated. I went by and visited because this classic letterpress is coming. I mean, this huge machine. They're having to bring it, and I think he messaged me, said they're going to have to delay it a little bit because of weather. But they met. This is really bringing that art scene to Huntsville, and people can buy a membership and be a part of this. Maybe highlight just how neat it is that is so unique. These are businesses that I feel are going to bring people off 45 downtown, and it's more of the great things happening here in our square. It's a really cool business they're doing.
the other side of it is that it's incorporating the university into downtown and in the university art scene that we've really had no knowledge of, and to try and meld those partnerships. And selfishly, Richard has helped me. He helped produce our
really?
map
Cool.
and
Yeah.
print our map.
Oh.
So he's done a great job with that, and he takes some weight off of my shoulders. So it's nice to have that youth and energy.
And they moved into the old Hello Huntsville office.
Yeah, I mean, like you talk about a small world.
Yeah, and he is just, I mean, the space, you need to go by there and check it out, Jason. It's really neat. Richard has done a great job, and he and his dad, we're so thankful to have them downtown too. So, well, Pam, anything else? We've covered a lot. I mean, I could sit here and talk to you for several hours. I love
Just
to
keep
hear.
us going.
Yeah, I love to hear what's going on.
Just further into the future, we'll have our Wine Down Whiskey up on May the 9th. So I'm sure we'll be back to talk about that a little bit later down the line. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, y'all do have a lot going on, and we so appreciate the hard work that y'all do with DBA. I mean, it truly does make Huntsville a very, very unique community and a place that people, and DBA, by the way, doesn't stand for Downtown Business Alliance. It stands for Discussion, Beliefs, and Attitudes. So if you want to come and, have a conversation, does that kind of cover it all? Is that
oh man, you're on something there.
Just kidding. So, well, Jason, maybe any final questions or anything you had on your mind for Pam before we wrap this segment up?
I just appreciate what you guys do because, being First Baptist Church just a block off of the downtown district area, it's just been amazing to see the beauty of the downtown area and each little element. It seems like every year that goes by, something new is added, and it just creates that feel of hometown, and it's a beautiful area, and I think everybody in Huntsville would do themselves a great service to help support and preserve that, because that's what makes Huntsville unique. I had some friends came up from Waco, and they were staying in Madisonville at that, there's a park there where you can, what do you call it? Yeah, RV park. And they were asking for what's some fun things to do. Well, they were looking around Madisonville, but they ended up coming to Huntsville and being in just the downtown area and seeing all that unique stuff that we often just overlook. We just pass it by because it's just backdrop a lot of times. And they experienced that and were amazed at the history, the neat nature of the downtown area and appreciated that.
What I don't think a lot of people realize is, of course, Ernst Jewelers has been in business 180 years in downtown. And then, Facemaker's been in downtown for about almost as long as we have. Doris at Fabric Carousel's been there 45 years, maybe 50 years. And she went to college here. And then, Blue Bonnet Antiques has been in business for probably around 40, 45 years. We're stable. We're stationary.
Yeah.
We do have some people that come and go every now and then, but and of course the Cafe Texan.
And there's restaurants, Sam's Table being one of them as well, and the Raven, all these, and they're nice dining establishments it's really neat to see how like I said, each year that goes by, it seems like y'all do something new to make it better.
I just popped in my mind that the church has even used Rather Park for some services recently.
We have.
It's pretty cool to walk outside and hear the music and stuff, because I can hear it from my side, and I can also hear your church bells.
Wonderful.
That's just amazing.
Now, if you hear I'm not knocking whoever this group is, but sometimes on Wednesdays, if you hear this, that's Jason over there, doing screamo music.
Just letting out all of my... the ministry takes a toll on you every now and then.
Oh, that's good, man. Well, Pam, thank you so much. You're a friend of this program, and whatever we can do, you're always welcome. You know that, and you have the link, and definitely. So anytime you want to come on, you just come and let us know. And again, thank you for rescheduling. I didn't want to get everybody sick, so that's why we took off yesterday. So thank you for delaying a day.
No problem at all.
Delaying a day to hang out with Jason Bay.
It works out.
It's been good. Appreciate all you've done through the years.
Thank you. You too, Jason.
Well, that'll wrap it up. Again, Pam Conner, Huntsville DBA. Come out this Saturday for the Valentine's. It is the Sweetheart Stroll.
Real quick mention, do not let the weather scare you away. Because, you're going to be going from one business to the other. Most of the sidewalks are covered. You just pick the time to cross the street when it's not pouring down right now.
There you go. Well, come and be a part. It will be a great time. And we, again, appreciate Pam so much and all the great folks with Huntsville DBA. More information is online at HuntsvilleDBA.com. We'll take a break, and we'll continue with Jason Bay here in just a few moments. Coming up, it is News You Can Use. From Studio 1229J, this is Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be back in a moment.
Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We are not a daycare. We are a child care center focused on the growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, education you can trust.
Hey friend, Rob Hipp here for Elliott's Jewelers. The new year is here, and what a better way to start out the new year than celebrating the moments that matter the most. And you can do that with Elliott's Jewelers here in Huntsville. Whether it's an engagement, an anniversary, a birthday, or maybe just a fresh start, Elliott hand selects every diamond, and he creates meaningful pieces that are designed just for you. There's no crowded showroom, no pressure, just personal attention and jewelry that tells your story. So again, start the new year with something timeless. It's Elliott's Jewelers here in Huntsville by appointment only. Book online at elliotsjewelers.com.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Hi, this is Braylon. You are listening to Fear Radio. God bless you.
When eons, I mean 5 minutes.
That's right.
It is now time for the coveted all-you-can-eat buffet of news you can absolutely use. Live from Studio 1229J in Huntsville, Texas, here's Pastor Jason Baby.
All right. Thank you, Rob, for that beautiful introduction. And this is news you can use. Heading into this Valentine's Day weekend, just a couple of fun facts about Valentine's Day to bring you up to speed, Rob. Valentine's Day started with an ancient Roman festival called Lupercalia. It was celebrated in mid-February and focused on matchmaking. And over time, Christians reshaped the celebration and connected it with Saint Valentine, who, according to legend, secretly married couples when marriage was banned for Roman soldiers. This man obviously was committed to love and getting people together. Americans spend about $20 billion every year on Valentine's Day. That includes about 250 million roses produced just for this holiday. So if you're buying flowers, you're part of a very big tradition. Here's the twist. Chocolate and romance were not always connected. In the 1800s, the Cadbury Company introduced heart-shaped chocolate boxes and marketed them as romantic gifts, and the rest, as they say, is history. So when you go out and buy that heart-shaped box, this goes all the way back to the 1800s. Now, who do you think, Rob, what profession do you think receives more Valentine's Day cards than anybody?
What profession?
What profession?
Don't
overthink this. Don't overthink.
Something healthcare, like
close,
nurses?
Close. Teachers.
Oh, teachers, yes.
Teachers receive more Valentine's Day cards than anybody else. So it's a great time to give a teacher a little bit of appreciation. And I know this firsthand because last night after Upwards basketball and after our small group training session, guess what I was out doing?
Valentine's and
out getting Valentine's Day little chocolates and cards and all kind of other things for our kids because, you know, every kid has to receive a Valentine's Day card. So when you multiply that by about 4, then you're buying quite a few Valentine's Day cards. And then you have to give the teacher one as well. But since Valentine's Day doesn't fall on a weekday, I thought maybe we might just skip it this year. But no.
Schools don't forget about that, do they?
Just move it up a day or two. That's all.
Hey, you'll like this real quick, Jason, while you're talking about this. This year I decided to create Valentine's cards for my kids.
There you go. That's beautiful, Rob. You're dynamite.
Yeah, it's a boy one, and it says "Your dynamite Valentine," and it's 2 T-Rexes holding hands with hearts.
See, that's what I should have done, Rob. I should have came to you to try to get you to help me save some money from going to the dollar store and buying all these Valentine's Day cards. But nowadays, I don't care about the Valentine's Day cards. It's all about the candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and here's a modern trend, Rob. People are now spending hundreds of millions of dollars buying Valentine's Day gifts for their pets. That's right. Dogs and cats are getting heart-shaped treats and special outfits. You know what I'm talking about. Buying gifts, Valentine's Day gifts for your pets. Rob, you're into that?
No. No. Now, back in the day when we had a tradition where we would buy them Christmas gifts and things, but as you get older and have children, you just pet your dog and tell them, "I love you, buddy."
There
and
you
give them a bone and call it a day.
There you go. Well, I'm sure that, you know, my daughter, she's a great pet lover. And she wants to be a vet. She loves animals, every kind of animal. She has a dog that, we've talked about it here on the show. We bought him, and he's become literally part of the family. He has hip issues, and I think that really endeared him even more to us, you know, because he has these hip issues. His name is Scout, and he gets just about anything that he wants. So I'm sure that he'll probably get some Valentine's Day treats as well from Lily.
Not from Jason Bay, but from Lily Bay.
From Lily Bay, but with Jason Bay's money. Around 6 million couples get engaged on Valentine's Day, Rob. About 250 million roses are produced for Valentine's Day each year. And as I mentioned earlier, chocolate became associated with romance early in the 1800s. So there you go, some fun facts for Valentine's Day. You're looking forward to Valentine's Day. You have any? You told us a little bit about a trip you guys are taking down to the spa. When is that? Is that on Valentine's Day?
It's on Friday. Yeah, we're skipping the show Friday. Billy and I were supposed to record it Tuesday, but with me not feeling well, we didn't get a chance to record it. So there may or may not be.
This is the last show before
maybe
the last live show before Valentine's Day. So here we go.
What is like a Bay typical Valentine's Day? Like a Bay or what would? Well, I don't want to give away your secrets because maybe there's something special y'all do. And
no, you're not. You're not.
Okay.
So I try to, you know, for girls, I think especially when they get into those teenage years, you know, Valentine's Day can be one of those days that they sit around and look at YouTube and all these other social media sites and dream longingly of the day when this knight on a shining horse comes riding into their life and swoops them off their feet. So I don't want them thinking about all that. So what I try to do is try to get them something and show them how much I love them and care for them. A little flower with a little vase or something like that to each one of the girls, and just to let them know that, hey, Daddy loves them, and Daddy will always love them and care for them. And one day we pray, and I pray about this often, that God would place the right person in each one of their lives as they grow up and find that special person. But I definitely want them to wait and be patient, because the Bible says in the Song of Solomon that love is like a fire, and it really is. It can provide warmth to you, but it also can provide a world of destruction, depending on the parameters you place around it. So I really want to teach them growing up how they are to be treated by guys, and what to expect, and how to know what love looks like, and how to appreciate things. And so I think Valentine's Day is one of those opportunities to show that, especially to the girls, that this is the way that someone should treat you. You know, don't allow any disrespect to come into your life, and be treated like someone to be valued. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what I like to do. So hopefully I'll get a chance to do that. We have a very busy weekend in our household. We have tomorrow I have a funeral here at the church from a lovely lady that was a member of our church for many, many, many years. So I'll be up here tomorrow. Then Saturday is our Upwards basketball. We'll be doing that most of the day. So it's going to be a busy weekend.
Here's Jason having a talk about
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah. That's me. I'm looking rough in that photo.
The Bay
Rob.
Blaster. Did you see that?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. All right, a couple of other stories I want to get to really quick before we close out this morning. Coca-Cola is quietly discontinuing a classic flavor.
Oh, no.
Not much has been said about this. But I don't know if you remember the old Tab Diet Colas.
Yes,
you remember
I do.
those?
I used to drink them.
Okay, so they are quietly discontinuing Tab Colas. Now, you probably haven't seen them in the stores for quite a while. At least I haven't. So, but they're ending the production of this popular cola flavor without making any sort of official announcement. In fact, some people in 2020 they started mentioning that they would like to discontinue this brand, and many people came and even put together some websites to save Tab Cola. But obviously it wasn't successful because they will be discontinuing that. But it kind of was nostalgic when I read that article, because I remember seeing all the Tab Cola cans back in the day, and a lot of people seemed like drank that back in the day.
It had a distinct logo. You remember that?
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
weird, like the tab, it was all blocky looking. And
I didn't even realize that it was made by Coca-Cola until I read this article.
Yeah, like you said, I haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
1963 is when that was introduced.
Wow, 1963. And I guess Diet Coke probably took over that kind of line of their sodas. But anyway. Travel and Leisure magazines produce the 20 most beautiful small towns in the U.S. And it says, plan a trip to one of these scenic spots, home to historical architecture and stunning natural scenery. Now, in this article, there's 20 cities or small towns that they mentioned throughout this, but only one of them is in Texas. But let me just mention some of the other ones. They are like, the number one is Cape May in New Jersey, which don't know anything about that. Another one is Taos, New Mexico. You ever been there?
Mm-mm.
You ever been out to New Mexico?
Drove through there on the way to Colorado, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Palisade, Colorado. You ever been there? No, I haven't either. Sedona, Arizona is another one. But there's only one mentioned here that is from Texas, and it really was kind of surprising whenever I read it. The 20th most recommended place, small town to visit in the United States. The only one from Texas is Mineral Wells, Texas.
I've heard of Mineral Wells.
Mineral Wells, located about 90 minutes west of Dallas, deemed the best small spa and wellness town on Travel and Leisure's list of America's best small towns of 2025, thanks to its mineral-rich waters, bathhouses that became a popular attraction during the 1920s. And after a decades-long lull, tourism has returned in the form of wellness retreats featuring rooftop yoga sessions. This historic Crazy Water Hotel was restored in 2019, while the legendary Baker Hotel and Spa, originally built in 1929, is slated to reopen in 2028.
Jason, I wanted to show the people here real quick. I can do this on my system. Look at this. I know you. I'll show you too. Look at that hotel there. It just stands out because that's the biggest building in the whole place.
That is crazy for a small town like Mineral Wells. I'm sure it's growing just like every suburb of Dallas is. But yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful place. All right, a couple more articles I wanted to bring out to you. Gallup, Gallup is the presidential poll. This is the end of their approval rating. After 8 decades, the presidential approval rating will no longer be produced by Gallup. They said that they're going to stop tracking presidential job approval ratings after more than 8 decades of capturing the public opinions towards the president. The reason why they're doing this is because they say in the article that so much of the favorability ratings is dependent upon personal opinions, and a lot of people, the way they view things like this has become more polarized. And they mentioned it's harder to get a real assessment of an overall picture. So they're no longer going to produce the presidential approval rating.
Well, one thing that I look at that, and definitely not talking politically, but those polls got it wrong. During the elections,
that's right.
It seemed like there's going to be a landslide in the last 2 election cycles. They've been pretty wrong, and so it's really hard to get any type. Even when you poll people, even non-politically, it's hard to get. It's hard to get accurate.
So many people are reluctant to share how they truly feel on issues because of the backlash that they are anticipating, and it's such a polarized world. This is what they said. They said leadership ratings have been part of Gallup's history, the statement read. At the same time, the context around these measures has changed. Leadership approval ratings are now widely produced, aggregated, and interpreted, and no longer represent an area where Gallup can make its most distinctive contribution. So I think that they're experiencing what a lot of people have experienced, is that, hey, it's hard to get an accurate assessment of the way people truly feel, especially in our highly politicized and polarized culture today. All right, I wanted to mention this. The Wall Street Journal posted this article, and it says the traditional wood-burning fireplace is facing extinction. Homeowners still love a crackling, cozy fire, but environmental concerns, construction barriers, and the lack of skills needed to build them are turning wood burners into a vanishing art. It says a sought-after feature in high-end homes has long been a primitive void in the heart of the great room, the wood-burning fireplace. This is something that a lot of newer construction is absent of, where it says that it's a vanishing art. The bricklayers and how to make chimneys and things like that for wood-burning fireplaces is something that's disappeared in the last few years. So in certain places, they're simply not allowed. But what about you? You ever lived in a house with a wood-burning fireplace?
The house I grew up in, no. And, as a child, I always said, one day when I have a home, I want to make sure it has a fireplace. And the last 2 homes that I've had the privilege of buying, when we lived in Georgetown, that home had a fireplace, and our house now has one. And we use it. And there is something, I don't know, mesmerizing, magical about having a fire right there in your living room. The children love it. I love it. I would hate to see that go away.
Yeah, it says that a large number of U.S. municipalities prohibit wood-burning fireplace in new construction. These regulations largely aim to mitigate the environmental and health risk arising from fine particulate matter, of course, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, my mother's house has we don't have a wood-burning fireplace in our home. We have little fake fireplaces, not even gas, just the electric ones that kind of look like a fire. But she has a wood burning fireplace in her home. My dad, when he had that house built that she lives in, he wanted to make sure that we had a wood burning fireplace, and my mother loves to burn it, and we love to go up there and sit around it. It is something really nostalgic and nice to have one, and you put the wood in there and light it, and the kids love it as well. I know there's a lot of danger associated with that, and house fires and also chimneys that aren't well ventilated or chimneys that are not well cleaned, or the wrong type of wood burned in those fireplaces can lead to fires within the chimney. But yeah, they say it looks like it's a passing phenomena in new home construction. So it's kind of a sad thing.
We grew up with these at my grandmother's house.
Yeah,
the Dearborn gas.
We had those too. My grandmother had those in her house. Those bring back great memories.
My favorite thing to do, and my grandma always say, "Y'all get away from that. That thing will burn you up." And she would always turn it on, and then you had the big long matches. You'd buy the big long blue tip matches. She'd light them and get that thing going. And when you would, my favorite thing to do I would stand behind that as a child, and I'd lift up the back of my shirt and let that heat crawl up my back.
Yeah,
man. And you don't see those anymore at all.
No, you don't. I want to close with this article from Newsweek, and it says the title of the article is "Library Staff Found a Note Inside a Returned Book. They Immediately Made a Call." And in this it tells kind of a neat story. This is a longer article, but it talks about an Ohio library that were shocked to discover a note alongside something else unexpected in an overdue book returned by a young girl. It's a little note by obviously a younger girl, and included with it was a $5 bill. And she said, I bit off more than I could chew checking out 11 books, she said. So she left $5 in there for the overdue charge. But in this article, it talks about the changing nature of libraries. It says a survey published in Library Journal, around 92% of U.S. public libraries charged overdue fines, and by 2022, that dropped to 36%. There's a shift towards fine-free models, and they've started to have a positive impact in that time, with 20% of libraries reporting an increase in circulation after they dropped all the library fines. So I don't know if you were one of the people that your mother took you to the library, the public library, and checked out books back in the day, but I remember there was a library not too far from our house whenever I was a kid, and there was nothing like going to the library and picking out a book and taking it home and reading it. And but I do remember on many occasions the reluctancy of my mother wanting to go and pick out a book because of the library fines. It's just like the old VHSs that you check out. And where did they make most of their, or a lot of their money was on those fines,
The early credit card interest companies, that was what they were.
That's right. But libraries now are learning a very important lesson, and that is, hey, it's not maybe so much about how long someone checks the book out as much as it is, hey, they're checking the book out. If we could increase the likelihood that someone is checking a book out, maybe it would be better not to charge a late fee at all. And now a majority of libraries across the nation are doing that very thing. They're going to a fine-free model to increase circulation amongst their books. Now, we have a couple libraries here in our church. Some of them have some very historic books about this community and there's when I came here, it was one of the cherished things about this church. There's a group of ladies in our church that had been a part of the library system at Sam Houston State University. There was a couple of ladies that they had been trained in all library, and they were librarians themselves that worked in the school system, and they oversaw our library and made sure that it was kept up to date. But so many of those books just sat there and gathered dust, and people were reluctant to check them out because there was a process by which you had to go through to check out a book, and then you were worried about bringing it back late or whatever. We didn't have fines.
I was going to say those fines at FBC were pretty steep.
No, we didn't have fines. But now we try to make it a lot more less formal. Hey, if you want a book, take a book. And then when you get done with the book, bring it back. And it has increased the opportunity for people to take a book and use it and bring it back as we kind of decentralize the idea of checking out a book. What about you, Rob? Did you check out books when you were a kid at the school or at a public library?
Yeah, I love my librarian, Robin Morrow. Remember, and Dorothy Colbert in junior high, and Robin Morrow in ninth grade, two of my favorite teachers of all time. And I still talk to Miss Morrow quite a bit, to be honest. She's awesome. She's always believed in me, and she had a profound impact on my life. And so I always think of Miss Morrow because I hung out with her and in that library every day at the ninth grade center. But I was always in the library. I loved it. I just loved the atmosphere, and it just felt like this was basically pre-World Wide Web. You know, this was that's where the magic happened. Now, you know, then the internet came and it was so easy to access information, but there was something magical, and there still is. I take my kids to the public library here. We have Amanda on the show from time to time, and our public library is great. One thing in Georgetown that I love doing, I don't know if we have it here, but Georgetown has microfilms of the newspaper.
Yeah. You can really go into rabbit holes with that. Can't you?
I got lost in it one time for like 3 hours at our library. It was on a weekend, and this was long before I was married and had children. I was on my own, and I went up there on a Saturday, and I was in my 20s, and my mom had always shared with me that the newspaper messed up because my name is Robin, and so they assumed I was a girl. Oh, yeah. And so they put in the newspaper, "Hip baby girl." I found it on the microfilm, and it was my picture, and it said "Hip baby girl." Yeah. And so I went back and for punitive damages, you know, no, I'm just kidding. But it was kind of neat to see that, you know, to go through that library. But there's still something, and I think more parents, listen to this. Take your children to the library. Yeah, it's a whole world of opportunity. My children love going to the library here.
I couldn't echo that sentiment more, because I believe in it's so important to teach your children imagination, and all those books, you can just pick it up and look at it and hold it in your hand. It's a whole lot different than looking at it on the web and reading a book online. I just holding in your hand, looking through it, seeing the way the author wanted you to see the book, you know, whether it's the pictures, the illustrations, the cover, the back. It's something really neat about that. And I think nowadays in a lot of places, people are reimagining libraries altogether, like how in a new environment, libraries can be central places where people gather. They can come together, sit around, make it more like a kind of like a lounge feel or like a coffee house feel, where people can come and enjoy books together and relaxing atmosphere and that sort of thing. So I think that we've seen kind of a decline in a lot of libraries, but I think we're going to see a resurgence in that, because there is that need and that desire for community. And people love to go to coffee houses. People love to go to like Barnes and Noble's bookstores. You see that, and where they just go and hang around and kind of fellowship with one another. And I think as libraries are reimagined, I think that we're going to see more and more. And this is just one way that you can reimagine, is just to eliminate a lot of the fines that keep people from checking out a book to start with.
There is one thing on the news you can use that you're leaving out.
Oh, what is it?
The sports report.
Oh, I purposely left that out, Rob, because I know you were going to rub it in all of our faces. I didn't mention anything about the Olympics or the Super Bowl or the Mavericks, who've lost every single game, or the Aggies, who are on a 3-game losing streak when it comes to basketball, or the San Antonio Spurs. But hey, we're here for one reason, and that's to keep up to date with the San Antonio Spurs. So let's turn it over to our correspondent in the field, Rob Hipp, to give us an update on the San Antonio Spurs, because we know everyone is itching to hear their current record and status.
Well, the silver and black is, on the basketball side of thing, America's team. They are on a 6-game win streak right now. That is the longest win streak in the NBA, 8-2 in the last 10. That is only right there next to the Detroit Pistons, who are the number 2 team in the league. The San Antonio Spurs are the number 3 team in the league right now, 2 in the West, right behind Oklahoma City. They are picking up some steam, 3.5 games behind the Thunder. Here's something that was neat. I thought that you only played teams 4 times in a year. The Spurs have played the Thunder 5 times this year. They've beat them 4-1. And Shaquille O'Neal, the esteemed expert in basketball and also a friend of San Antonio, even though he upset quite a bit of people with some comments. Nothing, though, like Charles Barkley has done over the years. But Shaquille O'Neal has said that the Spurs will win the NBA championship this year. They will defeat Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals, and it will be the Spurs back atop the NBA. That is your update.
You heard it here first, folks. Tune in regularly for Rob's favorite team, the San Antonio Spurs, who last night defeated The Warriors 126-113. Now, we may have some other opinions out there. I know we have a lot of Rockets fans that tune in as well, Rob, since we're quite a few miles away from San Antonio. But nevertheless, we are the official station in Huntsville, the official station in Huntsville of the San Antonio Spurs.
Unofficially the official. And one reason Jason and I get along so well is because we're not the bandwagon fans. Now, do we like the Texans? Yeah, we think they're okay.
Yeah, we love them.
But Jason and I, we're not big on, saying, hey, we're just going to be friends of the Houston teams because we live close to Houston. Jason, a avid Cowboys fan. And
that's right, long time.
That was one of the things when Jason Bay and Linda Webb had brought me into their office to ask if I was interested in working here. The very first question I had, I said, Jason, what's your favorite football team?
Right, prerequisite.
And when they said, what questions do you have for us? I said, what's your favorite team? He said, Dallas Cowboys. I said, I'm in.
That's right. And by the
that
way,
didn't happen, by the way,
the Rockets lost last night 105-102 to the Clippers. So the Rockets are currently 33-20, while the San Antonio Spurs are currently 38-16.
That's great. There's your update. So
that's it.
Jason, real quick before we go, I did want to ask you this, as we always do. Last week, such a powerful testimony by Spencer Burkhalter.
Yes.
When we tell stories, the Lord moves, and Spencer had shared with you a salvation coming from that story. Maybe highlight just that testimony and then what we're looking forward to this week at First Baptist.
It's such a privilege to see God move. We're about, like you said before, we're not about just providing information. We want to provide information to our people, but we're about life transformation. And we've seen that so many cases, and Sunday was no exception. Spencer Burkhalter gave a powerful testimony, and you can go back on our website and check that out and rewatch that. But God spared him in a routine traffic. He was helping a lady change a tire on the side of the road on I-10, and another car came along and hit the car that he was working on, and it was a miracle that God spared him and the family that he was ministering to or helping at the time change that tire. And he ended up breaking his shoulder and his ankle in the process. But out of that, he was able to share Jesus Christ with that family, and he stayed in contact with them. That he found out the lady that he was helping, she was going through a rough time in her life, and he connected her with another church, and they've been reaching out to her. Then as he shared his testimony, we had a young man, because one of the things he emphasized in the message was just the brevity of life, how you just don't know in 1 minute how your life can change. And we had a young man came forward and gave his life to Christ. He's going to be baptized coming up here in the next few weeks. And then also he was sharing, as a member of his family was watching online, and they've been praying about him for a while. And he shared with me that after hearing that testimony, he called his dad, and they talked about the Lord, and the individual ended up accepting Christ as well. It's amazing what God can do when we're just obedient. It's amazing what God can do when we're not afraid to share our stories. And by him sharing that story, lives were changed and transformed by the power of God. So that's the good news. What the enemy means for evil, God can turn it around and make it for good. And that's happened in so many cases. And really, that's what we're going to be focusing on this Sunday, because we live in families that are broken. There's a current statistic that's out that said before 1950, about 3% of children lived in a home with a single parent. Now that statistic is up to 25%. Wow. Over 25% of kids that are here live with just a single parent. Now, so if you're one of those, it's not to say it's bad or that it's to say that we live in a community, we live in a culture that has brokenness everywhere. We experience that in our own lives, in our own families. Rob, myself, all of our ministers here, we live in a culture that's filled with brokenness. But what do we do? Now that we recognize that, we understand it, we understand we need help, what do we do in the midst of brokenness? We're going to be talking about a family in the Scripture that had plenty of dysfunction. But guess what? God worked in that family despite the dysfunction. And my encouragement to anybody out there that's feeling like, oh man, my family is just so messed up, and there's so much going on in my life and in my heart, and with my kids or with my husband or whatever. Hey, come this Sunday and hear how God works in the midst of dysfunction, in the midst of brokenness. It doesn't prevent God from doing something amazing.
Yeah, that's so good. Come and be a part. And you know, one thing that the Lord, I really feel like put on my heart a couple of weeks ago, I was online and I was looking at things, and so many, so many times we see events that churches are having. We do things here for outreach, and I want this to come across in the right way. You know, more importantly than somebody going to church is we want people to know Jesus.
Amen.
But guess what? The best way to get to know Jesus is by being around a fellow body of believers. And the Lord put that on my, and I'm not saying don't come. We want you to come. But when you come, we want you to get to know Jesus Christ. You know, I think about this, Jason, that church isn't a product, but church should be a pathway in somebody's life. And I feel the Lord moving so strongly here in our community through so many churches, 42 churches, and the Lord is doing a great work here at First Baptist Church. But don't come to church just to come to church. Let me word it that way. Come to church to be in a relationship with Jesus Christ, because that's where the transformation happens. It doesn't happen if you just sit and listen and sing and go through the motions. But that's why I was so serious this morning about really focusing on what you hear on a Sunday or what you read when you read the Bible. Don't let it just gloss over, but take it into your heart. So yes, we want you to come, but more importantly than that, we want you to come into a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I've often heard it said, a church is not an organization, it's an organism, a living organism. It's a place where you come to grow and be a part of something bigger than yourself. And I agree with that. I really think that it's a place where transformation happens, and we see that each and every week. I'm so excited to be a pastor of a church where there's a spirit of expectancy. We were talking about this, Alan and I, just yesterday, that when we come in, because being here 11 years now, it hasn't always been this way, and it hasn't been this way at every place that I've pastored. But we've come to a place now where when people gather, when people sing, when people praise God, when people give, when people come with a spirit of worship, God moves every single week, and we expect that. We expect that, and there's that spirit of expectancy amongst our people, and I'm so thankful for that.
I love it. And one last thought that I had too, Jason, was when you think about going to church, like I said, get excited about getting to know the Lord. I think so much about the unchurched, and we got to take care of our flock, which under your leadership, the Lord is moving in such a great way. And we've seen, in
spite of my leadership,
but we have seen families restored, marriages restored, people's lives dramatically. You just mentioned a young man accepting Christ, going to be baptized here soon. Think about those things, the way that the Lord can work, and come and be a part and see what the Lord is doing. But come with that expectancy, knowing that Christ can and He will change your life dramatically. And think about what really matters in life. Because as you said earlier, I don't ever speak it in the future, but yesterday you could have been hit by a bus. I don't want to say you could today, because then if it happened, then I'm going to feel pretty bad. But yesterday you could have been hit by a bus.
Never know. Life is a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away.
That's it. Well, brother, thank you. I so love being here all the time. I said love because Valentine's Day, but
there you go.
Hey, love you, Pastor, and your family, and appreciate what you do. And I was in the middle of sending a text last night, and I fell asleep. I was going to send you a text message because I was thinking about you and your family.
Thank you, brother.
And I didn't hit send. I fell asleep, but I was going to tell you how much this church and your family has been a blessing to my family, but also to this community. And pray for your pastors, pray for the families, and pray for all of our ministers here in Huntsville, especially as we're getting close to the Collegiate Day of Prayer and the National Day of Prayer. Jason and I will have more information next week on those events coming up. But be committed to prayer and be committed to Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you, Rob, and thank you for what you mean to so many people in this community, and especially to the Lord for the witness you show. I'm thankful that God has placed you and your family in our lives. It's made a big difference. You don't even know.
See, I was trying to like end it with Jason, and then he has to end it with me. So there you go. But the Lord is good, and let's continue to support each other and continue to be there for each other. Josh Mashi was here today. Didn't get a chance to holler at him, but we appreciate Josh for helping out. We'll have Josh back on Tuesday, so we'll have him back on the microphone. But that'll wrap it up. For Jason Bay, I'm Rob Hipp, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there needs you. Hey, Huntsville, we love you. We'll see you back soon. Jason, have a blessed day, brother.
All right, brother.